All right, welcome everyone. Jeff Oravits here, and I brought in my A team since I'm a little out of practice after taking a week off for Thanksgiving. So Angela's here with me. Olivia's here with me, who's off from school for like 5 weeks or something like that.
Exactly. So now I can be here. I can keep you in line.
You keep me in line.
I think she's going to come every day.
Yeah, maybe every day.
It's a distinct possibility.
Thanksgiving was great. I hope you all had a good time off. I took last week off, as I know a lot of people took a lot of the week off.
Or at least Friday
off.
Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, we had a shootout. Well, not that kind of. It wasn't. Well, you can say that around Thanksgiving, and sometimes it's like, oh no, family shootout. Something exploded, right? You had a bunch of people together, you know.
No, we were shooting at targets.
Yeah, we were shooting at targets. Come on, people. And I lost to everybody except for I think I tied with Grandma. It's a low moment in my life.
I know. What happened?
It was bad. Well, I was setting up the target, so we had it was BB gun. Yeah, BB gun shootout.
Therefore, you couldn't shoot well.
Yeah, and your bow and arrow, which Olivia did good on, and I tied with Grandma, and I almost shot my eye out.
I know, that is true. True story.
True story. You know the Christmas story. You'll shoot your eye out. You'll shoot your eye out.
Oh, and I'll see him, going down the stairs with his BB gun, and I'll just kind of jokingly say, "Don't shoot your eye out."
Yeah,
as just a reminder to be careful and be safe and everything.
Yeah.
So that really happened.
Yeah, I shot at, and the backing on the target was like OSB, so hard surface, and it came back exactly to my knuckle on my trigger finger.
Yeah,
which means in line with my eye, or maybe it wasn't because I kept missing. And it ricocheted and hit. It wasn't too crazy. It didn't break the skin.
He shoots it, and then he's like, "That just bounced back and hit me in the finger."
Yeah.
And we were all like, "No, that doesn't happen." Well,
it happens.
He swears it did.
A Christmas story. All right, we got a lot to get you caught up with. We've got an Arizona news roundup, I think, coming up here at some point. I want to hit on some of the Thanksgiving madness when it comes to shopping and some of those numbers, the economic numbers. Also, we'll talk about voters seeing the American dream slipping out of reach, according to a new Wall Street Journal poll. Talk about that. And much, much more. We got a giveaway too. Olivia, we wanted to start giving away some stuff now that for me, post-Thanksgiving is Christmas. You get into the Christmas spirit.
And that means it's crazy giveaway time.
Yeah, crazy giveaway time. So what do we got up there?
We have $50 at Sportsman's Bar and Grill for whoever wins, but you have to enter right now because we only have today's show to get in there. And we're asking your favorite and or least favorite Christmas movie and why.
We've done this year after year in the past, and we usually get a lot of funny responses.
Yeah, I know, and then we can read whatever we get.
Yeah, I'll just spoil it. For years past, it's been overwhelmingly Die Hard. But there's others in there as well. Yeah, so favorite and or least favorite, you can do both, and tell us why, because we want to enter you in. You get $50 at Sportsman's. We'll draw one name.
And I think in the past, it's always just been favorite Christmas movie. I don't know if we've ever done least favorite, so we might get some funny entries for that.
Like the Netflix one I saw I didn't see it, but I saw it pop up like Violent Santa.
Bad
Violent
Santa.
Night.
Violent Night. Did you see that
Santa
one?
too?
No, I was sitting with you. I'm always sitting with you when you're endlessly scrolling. And then I leave and you finally find something.
Well, I know it's like 20 minutes of finding something, then it usually sucks anyway. So that's why I'm scrolling for a long time. All right. And we'd love to hear from you as well. Talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. That's talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. Don't forget about Timberline Firearms and Training. Now that we are in the Christmas season and Christmas spirit, great time to head on out there and sharpen your shooting skills, unlike I did, and almost getting hit with a BB in the backyard. Indoor shooting range, obviously, plus a lot of great gift ideas. I'm looking at some safes. Here's the whole line of Liberty safes out there. I'm looking at more firearms, more ammo, accessories, all that for Christmas presents for myself. But you can also buy it for somebody else as well. Go on to Timberline Firearms and Training. I am going to have Rob back on the program later this week. And John Thorpe is coming back on. He's with the Goldwater Institute because we have an update on that legal matter with the city of Flagstaff and the lack of allowing Rob and Timberline to advertise at the airport, by the way. And Rob's been doing like national media on this thing.
Oh,
I'm surprised he even has time for us anymore.
Wow.
He's been making his rounds.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just like a
The story went
story
viral.
here.
And remember, you heard it here first, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully Rob was saying the whole time, yeah, when I was on Jeff's show. Okay, so anyway, go to Timberline Firearms and Training, 5 minutes north of the Flagstaff Mall, and stay tuned this week to get a huge update from Rob Wilson. All right, so did you see the picture of Vice President, it still hurts to say that, Kamala Harris, who was standing in front of her gas oven range, like a happy Thanksgiving picture.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
did she make a Thanksgiving dinner?
I don't know if she knows
No,
how to
she
use
just took
the
credit
stove.
for it.
Oh, she
Yeah.
was just standing in front of the stove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if she knows how to cook or anything
Okay.
like that. I don't know what her kitchen abilities are. I know Ocasio-Cortez has done a lot of cooking videos with that meat cleaver,
Yeah.
but she doesn't eat meat. I don't think. She's just hacking up things. It's very scary.
She needs a rage room.
Yeah, we talked about those rage rooms in Finland or something,
Yeah.
or somewhere in the Scandinavian countries where they just rip stuff up. They just bash computer
take a
screens and this
bat
and
in
that.
there
I
and
think it's a
bash
bad
stuff.
thing because people would be like, oh, I like this. I'm going to go,
Postal.
go around the town and just destroy some stuff.
Is that even politically correct anymore to say going postal? Remember,
No,
that was
I'm sure it's
that was
not.
a big thing in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, no, you can't say that.
I'm totally unpolitically correct.
Okay.
I could
Anyway,
care less.
Kamala
Anyway, so yeah,
Harris.
she's taking a picture, and remember, and everybody pointed out that there she is in front of the gas, either propane or natural gas. I imagine natural gas because she doesn't seem like much of a country dweller to me.
Yeah.
Remember, she's the one, and her
They don't want
and
their gas
They don't want
stoves.
gas appliances. So why does she have a gas appliance? Why isn't she leading by example with her electric stove or however she's going to cook things?
Yeah.
A total hypocrisy. I'm glad
It's
that
always
people
like that.
pointed
That's
it out.
why my comeback all the time when I hear someone say, well, we should get rid of this or that, I always think to myself, okay, you first.
Yeah, you first.
You
Go
first.
ahead. Show us how excellent
we
and
want
how
to get
much
rid
it
of the
saves the
car,
planet.
the automobile.
Yep.
Okay, you get rid of yours first and then
lead
come
by
talk to me then.
lead by example.
Exactly.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Like, do that for 5 years and then
Yeah.
come and tell us how, easy your life is.
Yeah, let's see how good your life is without your gas-powered car or your gas-powered Air Force 2, or not gas, but jet fuel,
Right.
kerosene, whatever the heck they burn in those things. Let's see how good your life is without your gas stove, so somebody can come in and cook your Thanksgiving dinner for you. Because I'm sure you didn't do it yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she did. I don't know. Look that up. Maybe she's a great cook. So Americans were thankful over Thanksgiving while smashing spending records. I always hated the tie-in of Thanksgiving and Christmas with the economy. I really do. Where you go berserk buying things, and it's all about the Christmas season. It's not about what Christmas is about, but it's about how much money can we spend and
How can we get
let's
people
smash.
to get out of their house on Thursday night
Yeah,
and
I
stop?
I didn't hear much of that this year.
Yeah, that has
That's like
died
dead.
down a bit, but for a good 10 years or so, that was the craziness.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good enough to open at 9 or early on Black Friday. It was like, oh, we need to open at midnight. And then it was, we need to open at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving night. And people are rushing out from their family dinners.
Well, then it was 8 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah,
There's people,
then it was all day.
I remember one time we were at a Thanksgiving dinner, and this was probably a good 10 years ago in Phoenix, and a bunch of people left to go to the Best Buy or Walmart or something because they
get
had
the
a
TV.
sale on a big TV,
Yeah.
and they're like, you want one? You want one? I was like, oh man, this is so pathetic. And I was like, well, how much is it? And they gave me the price, and I was like, well, yeah, sure, grab me one
Chef's
too.
like, okay, get me one.
I was like, I think we still got that thing. I was like,
It
how
might
can
be
you?
that one.
It might be the one we're looking
Yeah.
at ourselves in. But I wouldn't go out and do it myself. And I was like,
Yeah,
please don't.
No.
So I didn't notice that though. I did have to go the day after Thanksgiving. I had to make a run from Camp Verde to Cottonwood to the Harbor Freight store there, which I didn't even know they had one in Cottonwood. I'm glad they did, because I have a well pump that I bought at a Harbor Freight a few years back.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago. The day after Thanksgiving. Luckily, it wasn't Thanksgiving Day that the pump went out.
Yeah.
I get up
Friday
and
morning, no pump.
I get up
Time.
and I'm like, oh no. I hit the thing at 6 something in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, here comes my morning.
Yep.
I know what's
No
to
water.
come. And I went, zipped over there. They had one pump in stock. And, they asked me, they're like, you want the extended warranty? I'm like, well, this one lasted 3 or 4 years. Oh, the warranty won't last that year. So I guess I'm 3 pumps every 10 years.
Yeah.
I guess is where
something
I'm
like
sitting
that.
at,
Yeah.
So they're just burning out faster and faster. But they didn't have a Black Friday special on
I know,
well
right?
pumps. I was like, buy one, get one
could
free.
they?
So, yes.
Someone could really appreciate that as a Christmas present.
Well, we're
That's a
just
draw.
glad it didn't happen on Thursday because that would have been
that's
a nightmare.
That's an absolute disaster.
Yeah, and we have that story of not having water because that's happened before.
Was it on Christmas or was it on Thanksgiving?
Christmas.
It was
think
either
that's
Christmas or
Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
One of the times we were having a house full of people, and then all of a sudden the water meter broke, and it was
Yeah,
water
the city
all over
meter.
the yard.
Yeah, the city meter.
And so we had to turn it off and get
and
it fixed.
the city came out quick and they fixed that. I felt bad.
Yeah.
I kept offering a guy food and liquor and all this stuff, and he's like, "No, I can't take that."
But still, we know what it's like when we have people over. We're making a meal and no water.
A sign of the times. A lot more. I was talking to my dad about this. We went out for breakfast or lunch or whatever this morning. It's my lunch. After 10, everything's
One
lunch.
of those
Yeah.
meals.
Yeah. And he was saying a lot of plumbers aren't even touching the city water meter anymore, with the water key to turn it off at the main because like we don't want to be responsible for it. And I'm like, well, what the heck? What are you supposed to do? So nobody wants to be responsible anymore. But anyway, from Newsweek, Adobe Analytics reported $5.6 billion in online sales during the Thanksgiving holiday on Thursday, making a marking, I forgot my reading skills, Olivia, a 5.5% increase from last year. The figure shatters previous records and represents a near doubling of the $2.87 billion spent in 2017. So more and more people shopping online. Today is like Cyber Monday or something.
Yeah, but maybe the going out on Black Friday and camping out all night to be the first in line at Best Buy, people are just doing it online now.
Yeah.
They're getting on Amazon or whatever, and they can sit in their house and not go outside in the cold.
I find myself more and more just getting it online. I made the mistake this morning of Owen has a BB gun that has a magazine that holds all the BBs in it, and the spring broke in it. About a year old. I guess that's how long things last. And I went to the store that has those magazine, or that we bought it from. Last year they had 2 big aisles of BB guns for kids, right? Well, I don't know if it's for kids. This is a AR-15 BB gun. For our kids.
Yeah.
But I went to buy the magazine, which they had boxes of last year. Nothing. It's like the brand never existed.
Oh.
I went on to Amazon, $16, be here by Wednesday.
Oh.
And so more and more people are like, I think, getting frustrated going to places and not finding.
Yeah.
I did that with my jeans,
Empty shelves.
Well, yeah, and I have like an odd size. I'm not the even size. I'm right in between for my jeans. It's getting smaller. No, it's getting bigger. And I just go online now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why
Well,
do it
and
and be
I
disappointed?
like it too because my brother lives in North Carolina, and we always send our nieces, a little something at Christmas and birthdays, and I can just pick something on Amazon and have it shipped straight there.
Yeah.
And there's no getting it here, boxing it up, going to the post office or whatever. It's easy, and people do that all the time, all over the country.
I know we love to rip on Bezos, and maybe we don't like his character and what he stands for and stuff, but man, did he really innovate that whole the whole market and how to order and make it a lot easier. But still, if you can shop locally on so many things, that is always my first choice. But it does get disappointing a lot of times in like a lot of the big box stores that just don't carry what they used to carry. Quite frankly, you could just rely on, I'm going to go out and find something. And more times than not now, I find that I'm having trouble finding that. Even at the big box locations. But those numbers went up, and it's up from last year. So 5.6 billion, 5.5% increase from the previous year. I wonder though, because when you see these numbers, they're taking it at the aggregate. They're taking the dollar figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's gone up. Everything's gone up tremendously. Yeah. So we went to a restaurant last night, and they had like this sampler platter or whatever it is. And it used to be like 3 items for $14, and now it's like 2 items for $14. If you want the 3 items, it's like 19 or something. 18 or $19.
You're so like $5 more for one extra thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's gone up a lot. So when they're reporting these record numbers, I think we can get swayed with, that translates and equals economy is doing so much better. People are opening up their wallets or digital wallets or whatever and spending this money.
But not necessarily.
Yeah, but not necessarily, because I think that a lot of it's just being sucked up by the increased prices, the inflation. So are we better? The old saying, are we better off than we were, 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago? A year from today will be the election. All right, love to hear from you. Talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. You have some tips, don't you? Should we do that now or maybe save that for later? What do you think? What do you do during Christmas. Because
as far as spending,
yeah, because I saw stats that there's still a high percentage of Americans paying off last year's Christmas credit card.
I know that is just crazy.
Staggering. Yeah. Especially considering how much credit card rates have gone up in the past year. I've heard of people paying 22, 25, 30% on these credit cards. So last year you go out and you spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on Christmas and still paying it off this year. I would say that, what did Owen say at dinner last night? He says, your Christmas present is, or was that you?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Merry Christmas, everyone. This year, instead of presents, we get to keep our house.
Yeah, it's just
something like that.
Because I mean, it's not worth.
Yeah, I was going to say nothing is worth that.
It is not worth it. Your kids will love you just as much.
Not only the debt and having that over your head, but that interest rate, what you actually pay for that item when it's paid off. Yeah. It's like there's almost nothing that would be worth that. Not
worth it at all. Yeah. Well, let's get to some of these tips, but real quick, I want to mention Desert Gold Exchange. Been advertising here with us for a long time. To me, that's a good present too. Getting someone a little bag of junk silver or something.
Yeah, you've done that for the kids.
I've done that. And I think it's a good example when you roll out, and we should do the conversion. I can't remember, but these 4 quarters equal $1, but it actually equals, $20 or something now in silver. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's a good present, or a silver dollar, which I think you can buy for, again, don't quote me, but $35 or something. Yeah. $35-$40 now. Desert Gold Exchange is an Arizona-based company. Man, they've done a great job for our family. They have the lowest prices out there because they keep their overhead low. They pass the savings on to you. Justin and his family will guarantee that. So why don't you put them to the test? Get a no-pressure consultation from them. Get a free investor's kit. You get all that by mentioning the Jeff Oravits Show when you call 888-852-4343. That's Desert Gold Exchange at 888-852-4343. All right, more to come. Back in a minute. I will mix in some Christmas music too, because Olivia took time to pull out a bunch of songs, so we'll get to that in a little bit each day.
Yeah, we'll get into it, and then we'll go full scale soon.
Moving into it. And then the giveaway, remember, up at talkwithjeff.com, we've got $50 over at Sportsman's. Best or worst and or worst?
Favorite and or least favorite.
Favorite
Christmas
and or
movie
least.
And why. And you have to enter today's show, and we'll try to be drawing that tomorrow.
Okay. Do that. We have a lot of fun with that in years past.
Yeah.
So right. I hope you'll share that. We do have Arizona news items coming up, including Chauvin, a guy that was convicted of killing George Floyd. When was that? About a year ago that he was convicted or something. He's been in jail for. I'm surprised that something didn't happen before. I mean, I didn't know he was housed in Arizona.
I didn't either. Yeah. He wasn't, and then he got moved here to a different security,
like minimum security.
He was in a maximum. Now it's a medium security, I think.
Interesting.
And I think that they had worried about him getting hurt by someone, and so then they're putting him in solitary for a while just for his own safety. And so I don't know what happened, but
so it seems weird that they'd have that sudden switch.
Yeah. So we'll hit on that.
I don't think they're talking yet. There's not a lot of
had that happen in a medium security one. So we'll get to that. Plus something on water and a push to preserve or make it a wild wetland or something.
Wild and scenic protection.
That's for the upper Verde River. I want to hit on that because I've been watching this one for a while as well. Yeah, but I don't want people to go into debt. We were talking about this if you're just joining us. People last year that's put Christmas presents on the old credit card, and I can't remember because I read it over Thanksgiving break, the week we took off. It was a high number that are still carrying that, and that sucks because paying the minimum payment and when you're getting charged 25-30% interest, that's going to take a very, very long time to
and
pay off.
I mean, it's easy for people who not in that situation to say, well, you shouldn't do that. And some people just are. But that's when you need to figure out, okay, we need to do something different this time because, we just can't keep doing this, right? And eventually the bill is going to come due. And
the bill always comes due.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do?
It's not going away.
What do you recommend?
Well, so a long time ago, we had the same issue of December rolls around and you're like, oh, we need a lot of money here for Christmas stuff, right? And it's like the rest of every other month is you have a certain budget, and then December your budget is like bigger because you need Christmas money.
Yeah.
And even if you try and be reasonable about stuff, you still spend more money.
There's no reason.
So a long time ago, I decided to put $100 away every month into like an envelope, you know, and I put it in our safe, and then December comes around and I got $200.
Yeah.
And
which
then,
covers part of it.
Well, I mean, I tried to stay within that, you know, I just figured, hey, that sounds like, you know, something we could do. We could stay in this. And I mean, some people might have less than that or spend more than that, but that's just, at least that was something to have. And then I could pay cash for stuff, and there was no debt. There was no, where am I going to get the money, or when's my next paycheck? And that was like the best, one of the best things I ever did. And I did it not only for Christmas
You
stuff,
literally did the jar.
Yeah, it's in
like
an envelope.
a jar.
Yeah, or a jar. Or
yeah,
an envelope.
I mean, there's like change and dollar bills.
Yeah, but you could do that for like a new car or a birthday, you know, birthdays throughout the year or vacations, or, I mean, it could be whatever you need to save money for, or like a new washer or whatever.
She's got this whole like, there's like 400 jars. We call it the jar room, right, Olivia?
Make a giant like thing on the wall to like stick each one in, and they're all
okay. We need a new heater sometime, and those aren't cheap. And I don't want to have to try and think, well, okay, where am I going to come up with $5,000 now?
Yeah.
For a new heater.
The jar room's securely. It's got a guard now because she has 400 different jars for every little thing. Dental fund.
Well,
eyeglass fund.
I don't hear you guys complaining about it.
No, we don't.
When Christmas rolls around or birthdays.
You know what the good thing about doing it that way is that, let's say if $100 is not enough for you, and you're like, I need more than $1,200 to spend on Christmas, well, then you adjust it accordingly. But if you're like, well, $100, that's a crazy amount, I can't afford that, and it's like, that's exactly the point. So you got to shift it to where you need to be. It's $50, it's $25.
I mean, I did it every month because that's how our life is. But a lot of people have the every 2 weeks thing. Okay, $25 a week, $50 a week,
$10,
whatever it is.
And
then you have at least something. And if you can stay within a budget, then that's half the battle there.
That's 90% of the battle. Yeah. And I'm a big making gifts guy. If I can, I try to make something for at least
either
close.
That or like stuff that, I mean, you'll go out and find like fun pasta and a fun pasta sauce or something that's like,
something that for you to cook, that's the best gift.
Well, yeah, but something that I wouldn't normally go buy, but we're actually going to use, and it's kind of fun then to get something different.
And then it can also be more meaningful, especially if you do make something that, someone spent time on this, didn't just, see it on the shelf. Which those can be great presents, and you can find great things that people want, but sometimes when it's like, I could have bought that myself, it's not as nice as getting something that you're like, oh wow, someone took the time to make this, or they're like, I don't want this stupid thing. I told Owen real quick, and we got to take a break, but I told Owen, it's like, I'm gonna go over to the Barn Bros over there in Flagstaff. They've got a lot of used stuff, auction stuff that they get. I was like, I'm just gonna load up a bucket of tools. Like used tools. He's like, oh, right. You could probably do that pretty cheap as well. All right. Love to hear from you. Talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. Get to some Arizona news picks and a bunch of other items here in just a few minutes. Great gift idea is my friend Zach over at Just Wireless. His great team over there has all kinds of refurbished smartphones. So if you don't want to break the bank, get a new to you smartphone at Just Wireless in Flagstaff on Milton Avenue as I-17 comes into town, right there by that's Cold Stone Creamery, that a little past that Denny's there. Just Wireless, they do a great job refurbishing these phones. Plus, you can also get a gift card for somebody. Maybe they've got a newer phone and it's got a cracked screen or charging port problems. Battery problems is a big one. Just Wireless can change out batteries on just about any smartphone out there. Stop on by Just Wireless. Get more info at justwirelessaz.com. Back in a minute. All right, welcome back. Olivia's here with me, Angela as well. What's up? Okay, so I recently talked about the Verde Valley, and I went to a meeting about water settlements that are going on. This is a couple different issues that are going to merge together. That was down in Camp Verde. What was that, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Something like that, whatever.
A little longer, maybe.
There's all kinds of legal wranglings going on over the wells that people have that are close to any of the water that SRP claimed way back in the, 1800s, 1900s, right? Early 1900s. And there's all kinds of adjudication, which is fancy legal mumbo jumbo that watch your back because there's things going on. And there's going to be some kind of ruling at some point here over the next months or couple years about wells that are near the river or the streams that feed the Verde River that ultimately feed the Salt River. And you have to be, I guess I'm a little concerned about it because we have a well down there. And if it taps into, especially if it's shallower wells, which most of them are, there's concerns that, what are they going to do? Is it going to be nothing? Is it going to be metering wells? Which I look at that and I see, whoa, what a disaster. If somebody's been there for 50 years and all of a sudden, you want to put a meter, they said, that's like the least desirable outcome. But another issue that's going on in the Verde Valley, and really it starts really up in like the Paulden area, Olivia, Chino Valley area. It's the water supply there. And there's a group out there pushing to, I guess, preserve this area. What do you got?
I have an article from AZ Central. It's why river advocates say Arizona's Upper Verde should earn wild and scenic protections.
Okay, wild and scenic protections. Okay.
So it's this group, Upper Verde Wild and Scenic River Coalition, and they've been working for decades, actually, to try to preserve the river.
Okay.
And they want to designate it a wild and scenic protected, and it needs, congressional action.
Okay.
To be able to designate that. So that's what they're trying to get. But it would give protection to, it says, 76 river miles and over 24,000 acres of riverside lands.
Okay. And I was looking at the map of this thing, and it starts the proposal. They're going out, getting signatures, trying to get a petition to get support, I think, for this thing from what I was glancing on that article. It's like the Paulden area, like I said earlier, and the Chino is where the Verde River feeds from mostly. And then it comes down Sycamore Canyon, and I think they were looking at protecting that, Olivia?
Yeah, they want to protect that whole stretch.
And then from Chino to Clarkdale. I don't know. We have to get these guys on, I guess. I mean, to see what this is all about. What's are they projecting dry out or something?
I was going to say, what do they mean by protecting? What does that exactly mean? Are they protecting the water?
Well, they are saying that they want to prevent the river from drying up and protect fish and wildlife and
that's good.
All that
I can see that, but what
is there a threat right now of that or?
I mean, it's when I talked to Zach Hauser, who's a farmer down in Camp Verde, he says, the levels have gone down, obviously, because when you look at the surface water, so that's the water that's actually flowing through the creek bed or the river bed, right? I mean, that's been kind of getting smaller, I guess, because there's also the subsurface water that's underneath that's flowing kind of like a river through there as well that you don't see, but they consider that the surface water, because that's what SRP and other places have claims on. Is that water. So they're saying, when I went to that meeting with SRP down in Camp Verde recently, they're saying all the wells have gone, again, this is from the top of my head, I think from 2,500 wells in the 1960s to 10,000 or something wells throughout the Verde Valley, currently. So people are sucking that subsurface water around, and so there's less visible surface water as well. So I guess that's what they're worried about. I don't know. We'll have to get that group on. And
yeah, part of what they say with trying to save the water from drying up is that they want to create people to help stop diversions, natural dammings or something like
stuff.
that, but without stopping people from
the
having
beavers
their water
go
rights.
and set up a dam, and then the water moves.
Well, they're talking about damming and irrigation too, flood irrigation.
Well, both, but also she was saying natural.
Oh, those beavers, they'll dam. I mean, we have those behind the house. The beavers, they've created.
They just go and chop down trees for no reason.
But then it forces the water to a different.
Yeah, but it still goes down the channel. It's still, here's one thing that I've learned about, and I can only speak really for West Clear Creek because I've observed that for well over a decade now. It has changed so many times in that decade as far as new land masses have formed in the middle, and then old things get wet. In one flood, one storm, last year was a perfect example. We had all that runoff in the spring from that, number 5 snowiest winter. it just totally changed course in certain areas. And one area, there's like almost like a natural spring after a flood we had, where it chewed up so much ground that it like hit the water table, and there's like a pond there now, like all the time.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing I've learned, it's like, I don't know, if a beaver makes a dam, it's still going down the thing. But the beavers are kind of crazy. They just like chop down a tree, and they're like a quarter mile from the river.
I know. Or they'll like chew like 3/4 of it and then just like give up. And it's just like, wow, you successfully killed a tree and then didn't use it. Thanks.
Yeah. So
what a waste.
I do want to reach out to these people, but they are out there. The only thing I do get concerned about anytime you get the feds involved, like, is there a statewide kind of solution here for this issue rather than the feds? Because, the feds will come in, okay, they make it a wild and scenic protection, utilizing, I think there was some kind of law that came out to allow them to do this stuff, to run it through Congress. But Congress is quite dysfunctional. But then sometimes you get to the extreme, and it can be good or it can be bad, but you get a wilderness area. And then all of a sudden there's like so many restrictions on it,
right,
that you got to start questioning, like, if you're down there already, are you going to have extreme restrictions? But it's growing. Remember last week or the week before, somebody said there was projections of Verde Valley going up to 200,000 people. And
I was like, whoa. That was a
Thank
comment
you.
by someone.
Yeah, that seemed like a high number.
Yeah.
That was on the very high end of that. So, okay, yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's put that group on. What was the name of the group? Wild
and Scenic. Where did it go? Wild
River
and Scenic
Coalition.
River, yeah.
Okay.
Upper Verde Wild and Scenic River.
And then we'll try to talk to, I think Prescott is a big issue here, Prescott and Chino Valley, because that's grown tremendously. So you're getting a lot of people drilling wells out there for subdivisions and all that.
Yeah.
So, all right, love to hear from you. Talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. That's talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. I do have to question, though, how much of this water, though, is ultimately geared towards and eyeballed by the 5.5 million people in Maricopa County.
Well, that's what I always think, is like they fight over the Colorado River.
Yeah.
And they're going to fight for the Salt River and any other water they can get, because their population just keeps growing. Yeah. So their demand is higher and higher.
So all the water that's really from the rim to the Verde Valley then flows down and in the Prescott area, and then flows down to the Salt River.
Right.
They want that water to suck it up for their insatiable growth. The Salt River is
coming in from the eastern Arizona, and so they've dammed that up and done all kinds of stuff with that too.
I wonder how much water would be preserved if you would just do something in Phoenix. They always look to the places that are growing tremendously. It's like, they're going to add 5,000 to the population in 10 years. And it's like, well, you did that in one subdivision down there.
Yeah.
You're growing by tens and tens of thousands of people every
And I know in the months. like in the 90s or so, maybe late 80s, the xeriscape landscaping kind of became really popular. Yeah. Like, let's get rid of the grass, let's get rid of the, willows or whatever that suck up tons and tons of water, and let's go to gravel and cacti and other low water consumers.
Olivia's laughing.
Cactus.
Oh, it's just the things we always make fun of in Phoenix yards.
Oh,
the Phoenix, wow, they all look the same. If I was
they
down
did that because
Phoenix, it would look exactly the
same.
The
water is an issue. And so they started going over to those yards instead. But then those yards usually still have a pool in their back. So
yeah, that's true. Or something like that. All right. Speaking of water, it's that time of year where the roofs can get maybe loaded up here pretty soon, or even rain down in the Verde Valley. Have you checked your roof? Are you aware of the shingles on your roof? Have you looked at them? If they're curling up and waving to you, or if you're after a storm, you have all kinds of shingle bits coming down, it might be time to call Dave at Fresh Roof of Northern Arizona. Dave's a home inspector, and he's also got a system of revolutionary, all-natural, non-toxic, sustainable treatment that you can coat a roof, an asphalt shingle roof. In many cases, you can save 90% of the cost of a new asphalt shingle roof. You might even be able to extend the life of the existing roof by about 6 years. You'll have to have Dave come by. He'll give you a free estimate. Check out your roof. Like I said, he's an experienced home inspector. Call Dave at Fresh Roof of Northern Arizona at 928-301-9404, 928-301-9404, or go to freshroofofnaz.com. Back in a minute. All right, welcome back. Angela here with me. Olivia here as well, my A team for the next really few weeks because Olivia is off school and we're trying to get in the Christmas spirit as well. We got some Christmas music. Giveaway. What's the giveaway?
$50 at Sportsman's Bar and Grill. We're asking your favorite and or least favorite Christmas movie and why. So go to talkwithjeff.com and you'll see it right at the top. Click here to enter giveaway or something like that.
Yes.
Enter, and you have to do it today, and we'll try to be drawing that on tomorrow's show.
Yeah,
So
we're going to
get
do
that
that.
in.
Yeah, favorite or disfavorite. Disfavorite?
Least favorite.
Is it disfavorite? That should be a word. Disfavorite.
I don't think
You're
so.
laughing at me. I mean,
Unfavorite.
we ended last time with the story Derek Chauvin, and I said he was shanked, and they both looked at me like, "What is a shanking?"
I know what it is, but
and I don't, I don't know
I just
prison.
don't know if they call it that anymore. Do they still call it that?
I don't know. I haven't been
Well,
to
I
prison.
had to look up the slang definition.
Yeah, it is. It's
and-
stabbing.
Yeah, usually with a
homemade
homemade
instrument.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't know the details.
A blunt instrument.
Yeah. What happened? So Chauvin, who was convicted in the murder of George Floyd, I didn't even know he was in Arizona.
I didn't either.
Yeah, apparently
They
he was
moved
moved
him.
to some jail in Tucson.
Like medium security.
Medium security instead of high security, which is where he was.
What jail is in Tucson? That's a federal facility. They have
Well-
like these more like club type ones where it's less, lower risk and inmates or whatever. But
I
he's
don't
pretty
know,
high
'cause
profile.
I read a couple different articles on it, and it just says in Tucson, so it doesn't say the name of it. And I know there's one in Florence, but that's pretty far away from Tucson. I mean,
Yeah, Florence,
you
like
know.
like east of
it's
Casa
like
Grande.
north, and yeah.
Is that a state
It's on,
facility or is that a federal?
That's a federal one, I think.
That's like the big one. That's like
Yeah,
you're
that's
going
a
to
big one.
Florence. You're
Yeah.
going. I mean, Denver has like that Supermax one where you have like. Didn't that guy die? The Unabomber? Didn't he finally kick the bucket?
Yeah.
You get
that
like
happened.
serial killers and just the
Yeah, so I
worst
don't-
of the worst of the worst of the worst.
I don't know if that's where it is, but
Yeah,
I'm not
interesting.
sure where in Tucson is a prison.
In general, there aren't a lot of details. Like, they haven't released a lot of...
Yeah, they're
Well, he's
things,
expected to
but-
live, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's expected to survive, but it was pretty bad. He was pretty seriously injured by somebody else at the jail.
Yeah. I'm sure it's
Stabbing.
I'm sure it's another inmate or whatever. I mean, you would think that the life expectancy of somebody convicted who is police officer, just in general, for the high profile nature, that is a tough road to hoe. I mean, I think that he was moved, you said, from another prison because of
Yeah, I'd
risk. I
read
mean, that's
that-
not someone you'd release in a gen pop, as they call it.
Yeah.
You see, I know
he
the
was
lingo.
in Minnesota somewhere in a prison
Yeah.
there, and then he got
Yeah.
moved, which is less security here in this particular prison.
Yeah.
And then I think that they were isolating him for a while because of the risk to himself or, for others posed to him.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why they stopped that or why they moved him.
Interesting. All right, let's get to some other Arizona news items that I want to hit on in just a second. Any comments? Love to hear from you. Talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. I had Kelly Broadus on recently. Kelly Broadus with the Broadus Properties Group brokered by EXP. Surprisingly, this is a slower time of year when less people decide to list their homes, probably because of Christmas and all this. Who wants to move
Yeah,
now?
you want to
Yeah.
stay home and move in the new year or
Yeah,
something.
it might be a good time, though, if there's less people taking the attention away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Call Kelly.
So-
She knows.
there's always conditions where someone needs a house and I need it no matter when it is.
Yeah,
I need it now.
It doesn't matter what's
Yeah.
going on in the world. Look, Kelly and her team, they take the time. They sit down with you. They make sure and discuss your selling goals. They bring all kinds of data. I mean, when she comes in here, she has like a wheelbarrow of papers. It's like so high because she has all this stuff. She totally nerds out on all the data, all the information. She's really tops at her game. Her team is tops at their game as well. They have many times turned really challenging situations into really just 5-star solutions out there. So you want someone, that's who I surround myself with. If I was selling a home right now, I'd call Kelly. I'd say, Kelly, get this thing launched to get me as much money as possible. And she does that time and time again. Why don't you give Kelly Broadus a call right now at 888-446-5602. That's 888-446-5602, or go to northernarizonafinehomes.com. You can also get the instant valuation on your home there. Again, northernarizonafinehomes.com. Okay, Arizona. And did we finish Chauvin? I think we're good with that.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was reading this Blaze article about the border crisis and chaos. And now Arizona is, not now, but in general, Arizona's been in the spotlight on this border issue. Tucson sector, Border Patrol apprehended 58,000. That's what they apprehended. 58,000 illegal immigrants in how many days? How many months? How many years? Anyone want to pick? Anyone? Bueller?
It sounds like that would be a short time frame to me.
How short?
I don't know, a couple days, week?
28 days.
Okay.
28 days apprehended in the Tucson sector alone, 58,000 illegal immigrants. 58,000. Yeah. It's crazy. This is totally out of control.
They're just walking over.
In fact, there was a tweet put out, and I did I mention I got this from the Blaze? I don't know if I did. Yeah. Actually, this is from Breitbart. Sorry. John Fabricatori. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Retired Air Force member and retired ICE Immigration Customs field office director posted a video on his X account from Lukeville. You know where Lukeville is? Yeah. That's how you get to Rocky Point. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason you go through Lukeville, quite frankly.
There's really nothing. There's a gas station and like a trailer park or something, like a motorhome.
Yeah, probably for border agents.
Because
the problem they have down there is our Border Patrol agents, there's not a lot of housing options. There's, what is that, Ajo? Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah, but Ajo's a good 45 to an
minutes.
Hour. Yeah.
That housing's gotten sucked up. They actually have some pretty cool housing down there because there is some mines down there, and there have been in the past. There was a ton of mines in the Ajo area. Or you got to go all the way up to Gila Bend. And that's a good hour and a half. Or Tucson, far. And you're in the middle of the desert. You've got that national park there. A place where there's signs everywhere that says, basically, don't be here.
Yeah.
Right? That something bad is going to happen. And I can see why, because 58,000...
There's signs that say stuff like, don't pick up hitchhikers and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So the Lukeville area, this guy tweeted out, is showing a massive queue. So they're just lining up. And you can see this stuff. I can pull up satellite imagery and see myself in the backyard practically, right? I mean, it's the quality of this stuff. So they're queuing up. Quote, as darkness descends on Lukeville, Arizona, nearly 1,000 illegal aliens have crossed. He still uses the same term I do because they call them migrants now. Mm-hmm. I call them illegal aliens.
They call them undocumented.
They're illegal aliens, okay? They've crossed the border and turned themselves over to Border Patrol. Where are those people going? He's asking. Well, anywhere, I guess. Anywhere they could. They're turning themselves over. I haven't been able to find information on that. The Border Patrol agent died of the ATV crash before we went away for Thanksgiving. Yes. I hear that that's from a pursuit. I hear that they are just from people I talk to that know agents, they're just like this article saying they're letting the people go. They're not even trying to pursue them anymore. And just if you caught 58,000 in a 28-day period, how many got through? Just unknown. The gotaways.
You mean the other ones?
The other ones,
besides the 58,000.
But what they're doing is they're actually specifically turning themselves in because they know they're going to be, moved on and given this and given that.
Well, word travels fast, and they gets back to families and neighbors and friends.
There's social media. There's social media in Mexico too. Or Guatemala.
And all over the place. I mean, everywhere. It's not even, it just travels.
What I am also hearing is that's not just people from Mexico or Central America or even South America. That's people are coming up through Lukeville area, and it's people that are coming from Middle East, Africa, Asia, all over the world. They're coming up through a very sparse, because that area is sparse. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking desert, and you're talking, they've got the range out there, the Barry Goldwater range that you could wander through. Yeah. I'd watch if they're doing actual live munitions that day or not. But yeah, people just going through all the time. So crazy stuff. Right here in Arizona, impacting us. Obama administration does absolutely nothing. All right, Olivia, you got some more Arizona items. Talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. That's talkwithjeff at iCloud.com. I love Cornville. I love getting the burgers there at that. They got a good burger place down there.
G's Burgers.
G's Burger. See, I will call out people who don't even advertise on the show and say, good job. Yeah. G's Burger has
We've been there
pretty dang good
maybe 3 times. It's good.
In Cornville. And I know Zero Res is down in that area, Zero Res of Northern Arizona. But the little conflict in Cornville?
Yeah, I have something from Verde News that says neighbors petition against shooting range after houses shot.
Shooting
So
range
this is
after
in
houses.
Cornville, and it's
Okay.
stray bullets from this unofficial Black Canyon wash shooting range, and they're like hitting people's houses.
Oh, so it's
their
not like
sheds.
It's not like it's like just one of those desert.
Yeah, just where people just kind of go.
Oh, okay.
And so people are, they're finding bullet holes around their house, and the noise is like super loud, exceeding all the noise ordinances around. And there's this one story from this guy, Alan Spencer, that says that a bullet went through the side of the house, and then inside the house, through a room, and then another wall, and then through into his kitchen through the back of the oven and out the front, shattered it, and then went into another wall.
The heck was it? What
what
were they
kind of-
shooting?
I know.
The
And that's
50
the
caliber?
story
What
says
was that?
that they found the holes all like that.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know.
It must
And
be
so very
on
dangerous.
National Forest land, would be my guess. I'm wondering where that wash is now. If anyone's in
I'm not
Cornville,
sure
give us
exactly.
details on this wash.
So there's
You
a
know,
petition to get that stopped.
Yeah, people are going door to door to get signatures to try to shut that down because people say that they're scared to like take their kids outside. And
Yeah,
that's-
you have pets or
all kinds of things.
Yeah.
If bullets are actually
if it's coming from
to
that,
houses.
yeah, they do need to. I mean, it's anytime. I'm a big advocate for the indoor shooting range. You got one down there in Camp Verde. You got obviously our good friends at Timberline up here. I mean, they're scattered about. We shoot out in the forest or desert sometimes too, but I make sure there's a hill behind us.
Well, yeah, you have to know
Yeah.
where the bullet will
You have
end
to-
up.
Exactly. I mean, and you're talking to someone that got a ricochet on a BB this weekend, so
Yeah,
maybe I'm not
that's
the
crazy.
best example. But if there's that many cases of it flying through homes and stuff, yeah, you need to just fence that off and
Right.
find a place. There's a distance you have to be to shoot. I can't remember. Did the article reference how far you're supposed
No,
to be
it
from a
didn't.
structure? Let's put that on or if someone knows that, email me, talkwithjeff@icloud.com. I know for hunting, it's a quarter mile. But I think that for shooting, don't hold me to this. We don't give any advice. I think for shooting or like target shooting, it is less than a quarter mile, but I could be wrong in that. But still, you still have a responsibility not to kill someone.
Yeah.
Right? Or
Right.
not to. There's a shooting pit outside of Camp Verde that we go to sometimes. I don't like that one as much because there's a road nearby,
Yeah.
and then there's another one that's facing this huge hill that's good. And I think it's all good to use those as long as you're picking up the empty shells, empty casings.
Yeah.
And I go there all the time. We wind up coming back with double what we shoot.
Right.
Of
Because you're
shotgun
picking
shells
up
or
other,
casing, yeah.
plastic bottles or whatever.
I hate the TVs though.
Yeah.
I get it. You want to do the rage room thing and all that. But that is just like, there's no way to pick that up other than you're going to bring in a backhoe and
Yeah,
start
and scoop
scooping the
in.
dirt. Things like that you, like we'll bring out some bottles and targets and stuff, not glass bottles, but like plastic.
Yeah.
And then you pick them back up and you
Right.
pick up 10 others that people leave behind as well.
Yeah.
Interesting there. Talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. That's talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. Let's see. I had another one here. This one, switching outside. Did you have another one for Arizona?
No, not right now.
We went to Arizona. That's all the news we have in Arizona. And
all the
after being
interesting
gone from a
news.
week, it's slow.
I was telling you about the bull they had. To
Oh, you
get-
had one. Yeah, that's right. What was that?
So on I-17 on the north end, out of Phoenix, on close to Joe Max Road, which most people probably know where that is.
That's in the heart of Phoenix now.
No, it is not. That is like by the 303.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's all kinds of development out there all the way to
Okay, but
Anthem.
not the heart.
Joe Max Road used to be like, you'd be like, oh, I still got another 20 minutes to Phoenix.
Well, it used to be, but
yeah,
it's not now.
it's
So at like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, I think on Friday, Saturday sometime, there was a calls that there was a bull running around in the carpool lane on I-17.
Did you see a video?
Yeah, I saw a video. They have it. And so they had to come, a bunch of cars blocked off the road and then had to kind of...
Isn't it a carpool lane?
Yeah.
Did it have calves? Because you cannot go in a carpool lane.
He should get a
Illegal.
ticket for sure.
Yeah, you got to have,
Yeah.
isn't it like 1+ or 2?
Yeah, it
It's
has
like
to be
two or more
than one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that bull, you said?
Yeah.
They should shoot it.
So
Should
eventually,
take it to Cornville.
Eventually, they did get it moved off, and then they found wherever the enclosure was.
Remember years back we did the whole thing on the burros?
Yeah.
Or what was it?
It's a burro.
The burro.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking.
Well,
Burro.
yeah, we.
That was a Mexican baseball game we went to
all
one
of a
time.
sudden, yeah, you drive down to Phoenix. All of a sudden, there's like these signs that say burro.
Yeah, by Joe Max.
Next 15 miles or something. And I was saying at the time, like, what? Where did this come from? I have lived in Arizona my entire life. I've been driving that road for 40 plus years, and I have never, ever seen a wild
horse. I've never seen one out there.
No.
But apparently you'll see a bull.
So we were thinking it's like some kind of tourist thing, but I don't know. I guess people do see them, but
yeah, they were scamming us.
Yeah.
Tourist stuff. Interesting. So did they get the thing? And
they just kind of shoot him away eventually.
Surprised that they get hit.
But for sure, especially at night.
Well, those Phoenix people are nuts with the driving. And I noticed it on the highways up here. I talked about it recently on the show that driving on Flagstaff, it's changed. The driving niceties are just about gone. It's going to be like New York soon where everybody's just flipping each other off. It's gotten nasty. And yesterday I was driving up from Verde Valley, and that section really near the Cornville, is it near the Cornville? Yeah, Cornville turnoff, Rimrock area. I hate to say this, but they're probably going to have to lower that speed limit right there. That is insane. I mean, the speed limit's still 75 through there.
Yeah.
And people are doing 90 miles an hour, and it whips around, and you're
it's curvy.
It's curvy. You got the Beaver, is that Beaver Creek?
Yeah.
Was that down there? Yeah, right there off, like by Rimrock and all that. And literally lines of traffic, and everybody's like swerving. So you're in the left lane because there's a bunch of semis. Somebody's coming up and cutting you off, like on the right lane. And then, I passed a motorcycle that, I don't know what happened, but it was crushed. And, on a motorcycle, that probably
motorcycle accident.
was not a good outcome.
I kind of looked for if I could find what happened, but I couldn't find anything about that.
Yeah, but I wonder if they're going to have to lower that speed limit there.
Yeah.
I'm not a big advocate of, we need this regulation or that, but when people are just killing it there, literally, there's always accidents.
Yesterday too.
It's always busy. Yeah. Every time I come up or go down, it's nonstop now. So I don't know. Just like I'm doing like 65 right there, and people are even doing 65, 70, and people are just ripping. Must be doing 90, 95 miles per hour. Anyway, talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. Don't forget, if you get a rock chip in your windshield, you're driving around on our crazy northern Arizona roads. If you're on I-40 there, like west of Williams, for example, where last I had heard, and did you drive that?
Yeah.
Was it destroyed?
No.
Did they finally pave that?
They've been working on it.
Okay, all right. So maybe you won't get a rock chip there.
Once you get into California, the roads are noticeably better, but that's nothing new.
Well, yeah, but
there were sections that were real bad still, but most of it was.
Are you
better.
talking good about California?
Well, they have their high taxes for a reason.
Well, they should be out there. Yeah,
their roads are better.
They should be. You cross the border, they drive you around because their taxes are so high.
Yeah, it was.
Put gas in your car.
A lot of it was pretty good. There was. Like after Kingman going west was pretty bad.
Well, if you get a rock chip, hey, stop on by Diamond Auto Glass on 4th Street in Flagstaff. They'll take care of it and stop that from spreading to the rest of your windshield. You need a new windshield. They've got the technology, the know-how to take care of you, get you a great windshield. Work with your insurance company as well. Call them up, Diamond Auto Glass, 928-779-4140. 928-779-4140, or go to thedifferenceisclear.com. A bunch of tidbits here. We'll get through some of these. I guess the Army's sending a bunch of letters to troops that were dismissed for refusing to take the COVID vaccine.
Oh.
Because they
want them back?
Well, they can't recruit people.
Yeah.
For what, all these reasons, they've been so focused on the woke stuff, and they were focused on if you don't take this shot during COVID, a lot of good people left. Of course, now people have been getting letters like, "Hey,
we're really sorry. Yeah. We won't do that again.
Please come back." It's just predictable, sadly predictable and ridiculous. U.S. debt interest payments surge past $1 trillion. So the interest on the national debt. And remember when I was talking about the debt being about a $250-300 billion problem a year as far as the portion of the federal budget, which at the time was like $4 trillion. It was like, it's costing us $300 billion to pay the interest on the national credit card, basically. Now it's over $1 trillion for the first time on $4 trillion in revenue. So it's a quarter of the revenue is now officially going towards national debt interest payments. Not paying down the principal.
We were talking about the credit card debt situation, and this is no different. It's just on a larger scale. It's just eventually those interest payments, and you can't even put a dent in the principal. Yep.
So it's I think it's doubled in the past year because the interest rates went up so much, and they're not stop. There's a time when I thought there was a little bit of hope to get these guys to stop spending money. I see no hope on the Democrat side and waning hope on the Republican side, because the Republicans don't even really talk. It's a boring subject, so they don't even talk about it either.
Well,
but
I think that,
huge.
Even they know they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I guess. And you're not going to cut something. Like, you would have to.
What are they going to do?
Well, you would have to cut on the 2/3 of the slice of the pie that nobody wants to touch, which is all the entitlement payments.
Mm-hmm.
That's or you would have to raise taxes. And
it's
actually,
no win. I keep saying there's no win.
I hate taxes, just like everybody does. I think everybody does, but I think half of Americans now pay federal income tax. I think if you want to run this kind of budget, you want to run this kind of economy that's based on debt, and we're going to spend $6 trillion, even though we're only taking in $4 trillion, then I think it's time for Congress to go before the American public and say, okay, here's what it costs to run all this, and you want this program, that program, and the other thing, and blah, 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 and it's $6 trillion. Taxes are going to have to go up this much. Because we tried it my way, which is convincing them to make cuts.
Yeah.
They won't do it. So instead of making any cuts, they're spending all this money and not raising taxes to actually pay for it. It's just like your household, right? What they are doing is they're inflating it. That's why it costs so much more for everything, because they're doing it, they're lying about it. They're doing it through the inflation tax by printing money, by borrowing and conjuring money up out of nothing. I think it's time we try a different track, which is be like, okay, raise the taxes on everybody.
Yeah, right.
Your government costs you, and I don't want this. I think they should slash. I think we should be running I'd be happy with a $4 trillion government at this point. Cut it by $2 trillion and make income match expenses, basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what we do at the dining room table, figuring your annual budget on your house, right?
Exactly.
So just match that up. But at this point, I would like Congress to come before us and say, we got $6 trillion, so here's what taxes need to be to pay for that. Mm-hmm. And everybody's going to pay their fair share. So nobody gets away from federal income taxes. Even if you're on the lower end of the threshold, you need to be writing a check for $100 or something,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to kick in, because then all of a sudden the light bulb may go off in America and say, oh, I don't want to pay for that. Right now, nobody's paying for it. So they're paying for it through inflation, but they don't realize that. The general population doesn't realize that.
But even with the inflation, the debt is still going up, and that hasn't stopped.
No, but the inflation, they're printing money from nothing. They're paying for this. Yeah, the debt's still going up. They're paying for it on the credit card
mm-hmm.
by conjuring up money out of thin air.
Right.
I'm saying balance it and say we need $6 trillion in income to pay for the $6 trillion government we have.
Right.
And
but
then
that doesn't even address the debt.
No,
that's just to balance out the budget.
No, yeah, at least you could stop the debt from going anymore.
Right.
I don't want to pay more taxes. I don't want to raise taxes. I want government to be cut down to $3 or $4 trillion. I'm just saying the only way I think the average American takes note of this at this point is to say, okay, get out your checkbook.
Yeah, right.
I get it. You only make $12,000 a year. Don't care, $100. Mm-hmm. You make $50,000, it's even more. You make, and that's the only way people are going to realize what they're actually paying for one way or the other. Just a thought.
Yeah.
The other way, they're not listening.
No.
They're spending $1 trillion in debt payments. Unbelievable. How irresponsible to kids and grandkids. How selfish of us to pass this debt on to future generations. Unbelievable. All right. I've mentioned Fresh Roof before. It's a good time to call Dave at Fresh Roof of Northern Arizona to check on your roof before we get into snow, before we get into rain, hail, what other things we get? Just monumental downpours, ice
buildup,
sleet. I don't really get too much.
We've had a problem with ice on our roof.
Yeah,
in one corner, and then it drips.
Get your roof checked. Dave is an experienced home inspector. Dave also has this system that's a treatment that restores and protects your shingle flexibility, grit retention. It adds wind, hail, and fire resistance. Guarantees at least 6 years of life to your existing roof. You might even be able to save up to 90% of the cost of a new roof, and we've done that this past year. It's quite expensive. This material has gone up a lot. And if you can even get someone, right, to come do it. Call them up. Fresh Roof of Northern Arizona, 928-301-9404, 928-301-9404, or go to freshroofofnaz.com. Kind of in line with what we were just talking about, article that I was reading in the Wall Street Journal, and our NORC poll Americans, voters see American dreams slipping out of reach. I hate to see this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think it still is very much in reach, but things have become so out of whack. And if we go back to just what I was saying, is getting the federal government under control is the first step. Stop printing a bunch of money, causing inflation. I mean, how much more did Thanksgiving dinner cost this year? Did you? Was it more?
I don't even
you didn't
total
keep track
it up.
anymore.
No.
It's too depressing.
It would be sad.
It'd be sad. I mean, if turkey's $1 something a pound.
Yeah, $1.50, something like that.
Remember, you got it for like 20
It used to be like 29 cents.
29
or you could get a free one if you spent
Are we just getting
$75.
old and we're like, I remember when turkey was 39 cents a pound.
Well,
back in the good old days.
yeah, but that wasn't that long ago. 10 years, 15 years. It would be like you spend $100, you can get a free turkey.
Yeah,
You know, they had those
anymore.
deals. Now I don't see them
Now
any.
it's like spend $100. That's going and buying 3 things.
Yeah.
That's like a bag and a half.
I know.
At this point. 2 bags maybe. Anyway, 36% of voters in a new Wall Street Journal NORC survey said the American dream still holds true. Only 36%, substantially fewer than the 53% who said so in 2012, not that long ago, and 48% in 2016 in similar surveys of adults by another pollster. So slipping from, say, 50%-ish to 36% actually. So a third of the population like, yeah, American dream is still alive and well. Mm-hmm. I can still buy a turkey, buy a house, have a car, take a vacation maybe once in a while, something like that. Half of voters in the new poll said that life in America is worse than it was 50 years ago, compared with 30% who said it had gotten better. What's the population? So 50 years ago. So in order to be like conscious of what's going on 50 years ago, you'd have to be maybe like 10.
Yeah, that's
You'd
what
have
I
to-
was thinking.
Yeah.
At this
Like,
point,
and you've
be like
experienced
at
this
least
yourself?
60 years old
Yeah. So,
to
okay.
remember this life in the 70s.
Yeah, but what's the country now? Half of the country's under 25 or something.
Oh,
under 30.
probably,
I mean,
yeah.
something like that. So it's like, how could half the voters even know what life was? Where they get it from? Life magazine from 1972 or something?
Yeah.
How do they even know? Because I was born in 75. You're 76, and I don't remember the 70s. I remember the 80s, but from what I hear from my parents and other people around then, is the 70s was pretty rough, and
Yeah.
America was very, very down. Inflation was rampant.
Gas lines
At some point, we had
and-
gas
yeah.
lines
Uh-huh.
and just problems with that with OPEC, and you had the Carter years, and Carter's solution was to the energy crisis. Put on a sweater, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just to put on a. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
too bad. Suck it up. Put on a sweater, and then Reagan comes along, and it's the new dawn of America, the dawn of kind of a new. Optimism.
Era or something,
Optimism. I can't remember the exact commercials and all that. And things changed finally. In interest rates. I mean, I have interest rates here, and you were at you're lucky to be 8%. At one point, they went up to, people were paying 10, 12, 15, 18, 20% for cars and things like that. I mean, some people listening right now, they're like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
the quote unquote good old days of the 1970s. So I don't know if it was it that good? And are people just remembering something that didn't?
Yeah, it's
exist
easy
at
to
that
look
point.
back and you forget the details. And I mean, whether it's an injury or, your childhood
Like a
or
head injury?
whatever it is.
Like you
any
can't
kind,
remember?
you don't remember what it.
What are you saying here?
I don't know.
Saying
if
you
it
break
injury-
your arm and like 10 years later, you don't
Oh, it doesn't seem as
remember
bad.
the pain
Okay.
so
Okay.
bad.
Yeah. The pain goes away. The pain drops after a while. I hear what you're saying.
So
I thought you just
the
mean.
good old days in 50
No,
more
I'm
years.
saying-
right here.
Yeah, this will. Yeah, in 50 more years, it'd be like, I remember back in 2023. That's a pretty sad
was
thought.
Only whatever it is
Inflation
now.
was only 4.7%. So they said, those liars, right? Anyway, so yeah, so people just feel that the American dream's slipping away. I think we've gotten just maybe look. People have gotten maybe a little higher than we all should have. Does that make sense? Where life is pretty dang good. I mean, we have first world problems. We have rich country problems that so many people are pursuing on social media. Stuff that if you were having a really tough economic time, they would drop off really quick. I mean, nobody would care about gender ID or trans this or you name it. All this stuff that nobody would care about that. This stuff really wouldn't even exist because people are like, yeah, I don't got time for that. I'm trying to put food on the table. And I know people are out there trying to put food on the table now and stuff like that, but we have it pretty dang good, even with as bad as Bidenomics are and how much damage he's caused to the country. I'm amazed at how resilient America actually is in our system, that the crap that they're doing hasn't totally collapsed us. I'm actually shocked.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to how resilient the system really is.
Right.
I mean, it can't go on forever.
Yeah.
It can only bend so far. But continuing on with this one, the American dream seemed most remote to young adults and women in the survey. Some 46% of men, but only 28% of women said the idea of advancement for hard work still holds true. So half of men, approximately a quarter of women. Like, I can work hard and I can really get ahead. They think that. As did 48% of voters age 65 or older, but only 28% of those under the age of 50. So younger people, a quarter of them are like, I can get ahead. And over 65, it's half. I don't know, maybe it's just an age thing because you get more, maybe you get more successful over time. Maybe you save more money.
And
maybe
you
get a
have
house.
the benefit of looking back, on your life and how it has improved.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
I was able to do it. And so the dream is still alive and it's possible to advance.
The dream's very possible, but I think a lot of this, and maybe this has always been the case, maybe even back in the 70s, you may have to move. Like, I know so many people that have trouble because places like California's so expensive, but Arizona has gotten so expensive, especially in places in northern Arizona. Maybe that's not the place. It used to be the place where you could go and it was cheap. I even read an article that Texas is starting to shed some people. There's still a net growth state, but a lot of people are getting there and they're like, well, the grass wasn't that much greener. And I moved to Austin and the prices are outrageous now because so many people have moved here. So I don't know, people may have to move and, seek out greener pastures. Sometimes I think sometimes that may help, especially younger people. You're trying to make it in a place like Flagstaff, and it can, you're like, I want to buy a home, but it's $700,000 is the median value.
Yeah, it can be very discouraging.
Really discouraging. On that note, the optimistic side of this, the number of mortgage-free homes in America increased by 8 million between 2012 and 2022. So in a 10-year period, 8 million more people became mortgage-free in America. Mostly older Americans, obviously, because if you have a 20 or 30-year mortgage, you've been able to pay off that debt.
Yeah. Well, that is the idea.
That is the hope.
I mean, that's what most people set out to do, is to eventually pay that off.
Yeah.
The problem is that we've become a society who moves around a lot or is not satisfied in their current house and we need a bigger one, or
the Joneses thing.
Yeah. Keeping up with the Joneses, or I need a better job and we need to move, and they just keep getting mortgage after mortgage, or I need that jet ski and I got to take my home equity and things like that. So then
the patience thing, the instant gratification thing has become a big change in America, I think, from the 70s, especially to now. Especially in the 90s, it accelerated, but in the 2000s, it's been, going back to George Bush, is we don't need it. We're not going to raise taxes, and we're going to do this, and every president since then has done that. And we were just talking about that. If you're gonna have a $6 trillion federal budget, I guess you better tax $6,000 or $6 trillion, $6,000. That's George Washington times there. One more stat here: a third of houses in America are now owned by 65 plus. Ages 65 plus. A third of the homes.
Well,
in America.
then that would make sense with the mortgage free.
Yeah, and a lot of people have, especially as they're older, maybe they got a second home. We see that in Flagstaff. You see that in Sedona. Also rental properties. I'm not sure where that factors in as well. People hang on to something and they hung on to that home after they paid it off and went and bought another one or something like that. So I don't know, just some interesting stats, because we always hear the negative of there's no way you can make it, but yet there's so many people living really, really good, better than any time in the history of planet Earth. I do wonder though, and I do get concerned, is there a jealousy factor and a disconnect, I guess, between kind of the haves and have-nots, especially the young and the older, of, oh, wait a second, you got yours now. What about me? We're kind of left out of this.
Right.
And what happened? That's when you get into this.
And the problem with, so you were saying an older couple that hung on to their first house and now they're renting it and they moved on and got something newer or whatever. Well, the fact that they're not selling it to a starter family or something like that doesn't help the whole housing problem, or someone else that's trying to own a home that, well, there aren't any available because people just won't let them go.
Yeah, but the government didn't help that situation either with the artificially low interest rates, the 3% interest rates.
Yeah.
Because how many?
I mean, it's not just one factor. I'm just saying that's part of it.
How many people are not moving right now because they're like, I don't want to get an 8% loan when I got a 3% loan. I'm just gonna stay put. And you know what? They're gonna probably do, if they actually do stay put, I think they're gonna do pretty good. You know, if you have a 3% loan and you're like, you had this urge to move, and then all of a sudden 20 years later, you're like, oh, I paid off that super low 3% interest rate loan. I'm one of the whatever number I just said. I'm one of the new 8 million that owns my home clear and free. Yeah. It used to be back in the day, maybe someone listening, they used to have the burning party. You burn your note when you pay it off. That used to be the goal, is to pay off. I'm going to pay this home off. Yeah, times have changed, I guess. Love to hear from you. Talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. Talk with Jeff at iCloud.com. I was just reading one of my sponsors coming up is Nova Home Loans.
Oh,
yeah. You can still buy that rate down a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
To talk with
There's
Kim Dawson.
ways to finagle some numbers there.
There are some ways. But before I get to that, Zero Res of Northern Arizona. Hey, check them out. They do a great job of cleaning your carpets, cleaning the tile, doing the grout joints, so that way Olivia doesn't have to use the toothbrush. That's something we said we might have her do during her Christmas break. They get in there and get all of that cleaned, including fabrics on your couches, vehicles, things like that. You can get an appointment right now. This is surprisingly, I was talking with Kristen, for some reason, people clean their carpets less around the holidays. And she's like, yeah, this is one of the, I don't know why. It's weird. And I'm thinking, what? Are you crazy? You got like the in-laws coming over?
I know, you're having all this company. Don't you want to show off your nice, clean house?
Most families are wonderful, but some families have this like telephone thing where they say, I went over to Angela's house and that stain was still there from last year, right? Or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to just no comment on that.
Don't be that person. Call Zero Res of Northern Arizona. Get the carpets clean. What do we got here? Specials going on right now. $138 for 3 rooms. $138. Come on, get that cleaned. Don't be the talk of the town. Get the tile cleaned as well. Zero Res of Northern Arizona, 928-378-8888. 928-378-8888, or go to zeroresnorthernarizona.com. All right, welcome back. Giveaway. This one's a short fuse because I want to try to do quite a few between now and Christmas. And as you know, I always take a little time off around Christmas, so not giving away nothing around that time period. But what do you got, Olivia?
We have $50 at Sportsman's Bar and Grill, so you definitely want to enter that one so you can get Taco Tuesday and Wing Wednesday and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So go to talkwithjeff.com. It's super easy. Just at the top, it'll say giveaway. Click to enter, and you just fill out name and stuff. And then we're asking, what is your favorite or least favorite Christmas movie and why?
Favorite or least favorite.
And you can
why.
do both,
and,
too, if you want.
Yeah, and all you diehard fans out there. You know, we've classified that as a Christmas movie.
You have.
I mean, it's just too many people are weighing in on it. I mean, there's a Christmas tree and they play some Christmas music and then
that's it.
Bruce Willis goes on a killing spree. But they were bad guys. All of them, right?
It had nothing to do with Christmas.
They were bad guys. Well, perhaps. Talkwithjeff.com. Talkwithjeff.com. Click on, it's right on top. I moved it up top. Giveaway, click to enter.
It's so easy and it's worth it if you win. So.
Right. I think you guys are back tomorrow, but I also think Mark Howitt's coming in, so not sure. We'll figure all that out tomorrow. Everybody have a great, safe night. Take care. See you soon.